He's coming up fast.
Wow.
He's not a slow one. No.
Wow.
He's high. Oh, he's come to the radio now.
Yes. So, this is Gomez. He is a large, hairy armadillo. He's one of two here at Colchester, so we've got him and he saw. No, I locked it today. I thought about that. Put me off my trail of thought, mister. So you saw Ali briefly earlier. So this is our male. Ali is a little bit bigger than him. She is 12 years old. He is only about maybe even 3 now. So quite a young boy. He was brought in, or they were brought in, as hopefully a breeding pair. But so far we've not had any luck. Oh, no, you just want sniffs today. Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Can we pet him? Yes, you can. He won't mind at all.
Come on.
Does he like being petted?
He doesn't mind. He sometimes comes for a cuddle.
Really?
Yeah. He's scary. He's super sweet, aren't you?
That's interesting to know what it feels like.
So I pointed out the holes in the enclosure as we walked past earlier. If you look at, if he comes close enough for you to see them, have a look at his claws on his front feet. You'll notice that they're quite flat and quite wide, which basically turns his front feet into little mini shovels, which are perfect for digging those holes and tunnel systems that you saw. He's just going to run around. So this is normal speed for an armadillo. They don't really tend to go slower. They can, in fact, go faster. Certainly around about 10 miles an hour, I believe. Possibly a little bit more. You're a speedy boy, aren't you?
Okay.
So this is quite nice of him.
Hello.
So these guys here will tend to spend most of their time in their enclosure, apart from when we get them out for experiences to meet people like you. So it's, in a sense, a form of enrichment. It gives him lots of different things to explore, different smells to encounter. As you can see, he's quite content just running around figuring out what's in his environment at the moment. What new sniffs are there? Where are you gone? Yes, good boy. Good boy. Oh, yes. So yeah, videos are probably better than photos, because then you can go home, look at the video later and pause it on a decent shot of his face. Otherwise it doesn't tend to be really too quick. So you saw just there, he got quite low down to the ground. So, Aaron, you mentioned about armadillos rolling up in a ball, didn't you?
Yeah, but I just figured out that this one doesn't.
Yeah, this one doesn't. Can you guess why he might not? Can either of you guess why he might not?
Because his scales are stronger than the ones that roll up in a ball, so he can protect himself from predators instead of having to roll up into a ball.
Nearly. I mean, that's a very good answer. So it's because he's got too many bands. So if you both have a look at his armour, you can see kind of the defined bands. Too many bands means they can't physically curl up. So what he does instead is he will basically become a pancake on the floor. He will get himself, squish himself as far down to the ground as he possibly can. He's interested in people now, so that's good. Tell you what, if you're feeling brave enough, would you like some meal ones to offer him? By hand, you won't mind. There we go. Now we're settling in. Oh, there you go. So yeah, rather than rolling himself up in a ball, he would tuck his feet and his legs in and just get as flat as perfectly possible. You can see that the armour plating goes all the way from his nose down to the tip of his tail. So that way, the only thing that predators would be able to get to is the armour plating, which is really too strong for them, so they have to try and flip them over to get to their squishy underbelly. Now, these guys come from where?
They come. I read this.
You've cheated, Aaron.
They come from America.
Which part of America?
Around about.
So
Was it the Congo?
Let's go easy. Shall we say north or south?
North.
North.
Wait, no, south. South America.
Okay, South America. So places in South America such as Chile or Argentina. What are you trying to do? Is there something in the wall you do? So places in South America that tend to have less jungles, more I say jungles, less kind of foresty areas, more plains and grasslands, because that's the kind of environment that these guys would live in. Now he's got a very good little sniffer nose, which is what he's using. You can hear him kind of snuffling around all over the place, using it on occasion to try and find those mealworms. They rely mostly on that for finding things rather than their eyesight. So armadillos are nocturnal. Normally this would be when they're asleep. They would be out during the night. He's very friendly, so
He's more friendly than my cats.
oh, Gomez, you win. So that nose is fantastic for sniffing things out, and it is their primary sense rather than their eyesight. Now, what have you found? Would you like to find the mealworms again, mate? Some walnuts. So, these guys in the wild would I know you like your walnuts, don't you? Walnuts are really good training treats. So in the wild, they would predominantly eat things like ants or termites. I've not got it. Look. Okay. There we go. Predominantly eat invertebrates. So we've given him some mealworms that he is now interested in. But they would also eat little bits of fruit and vegetables that they could find, potentially some nuts, which is why we gave them walnuts. I know, it's not going to be walnuts this time. It's not, no. So we give them a nice varied diet to mimic that. They would also eat potentially any meat that they could find that had been on the floor, so any, potentially even any eggs that might have been on the floor. So here we give them mealworms every day. They get fruit and vegetables every day, don't you? You're not a fan of those though. We give them a different type of protein each day, so sometimes it might be crickets, other times it might be egg. We even give beef sometimes, don't we, buddy? Yeah, you like the beef. Beef today. Promise you it's beef today.
Ooh, please. Fancy some that.
So they get quite the varied diet, but the main thing is invertebrates. So if we were to try and give him as many mealworms as he would need to eat in a whole day, we would be spending our entire lives trying to find mealworms. So what we get is a powder called termant. So it's a food that's been, it's pretty much ground up bugs that gets turned into a powder, you mix it with water and it becomes a paste. And it's been formulated specifically for animals that would mostly eat ants or termites, like Gomez and other armadillos, or like our giant anteaters.